Hello, beautiful being. There's somebody who feels like their worst punishment for the evil actions that they have taken towards you is that now they have to sit back and watch what you've become without them. This makes them feel like everything that they did to bring conflict and combat into your world only served you. It worked in your favor, and you used it to grow. And now they will never know what it feels like to stand beside you, because they crossed many lines and will never have access to your energy again. They never thought that they would be in this situation, because their plan, when they thought that they could actually do it, was to deplete you of all of your power and energy so that they could take from you. They wanted your destiny. But you have consistently stood firm and denied them any continued opportunities to access your world in a way where they were siphoning your energy or trying to bring harm to you or to those you love. You have said no. You have said no. You have said no. And you have said no not only with your words, but also with your actions. You have stood very firm. And this is what your divine self has called you to do. And you've done it consistently. So now this being who is now questioning why you met each other in this life, they're regretting it because they feel like a fool. They feel like they were granted an opportunity to do something different. They don't know what they should have done, but they know that what they did not work out for them. They know that it worked out for you. They've watched you grow. They're watching you grow. And they know that they fumbled an opportunity to stand with someone who makes the world better. And they regret that. It's not that they regret doing you wrong or doing wrong by you. It's that they regret not being able to ever have access to you. They can't believe that you realized what they were up to. They can't believe that you've called them out. Also, there's something about you having an opportunity to remain silent about something, and you did for a while, but then you realized that there was power in your words, and that this was something that the divine was calling you to step up to the plate and complete a mission of exercising the power of your throat chakra so that you were able to stand for yourself. You have mastered every single opportunity that you were given to either remain silent and just live in your peace, or to stand up for yourself. Both are necessary, and that's something that you do very well. When you need to be quiet, you're quiet. When you need to speak up, you speak up. That could have been something that you weren't allowed to do or weren't encouraged to do in maybe a long-term relationship or with a parent or growing up. But you have surpassed that vibe of feeling like you're caged and controlled and that you can't speak up for yourself. Divine wanted you to align with the frequency of self-love to the point where you would open your mouth and be courageous enough to speak the words of protection that you needed to over yourself. This has been a very deep experience for your inner child. You are healing your inner child when you stand by that divine, beautiful being that was so small and precious and did not yet know what was to come. You are going back in time and sending love to your former self, to this past version of yourself that still exists on other dimensions. You are sending love to your inner child every time you protect your energy, every time you choose your peace, and yes, every time you speak up whenever you need to, whenever you feel led to. In the past, there were times where you wanted to protect yourself, you wanted to speak up, but you were afraid that you didn't have the right words to say, or that no one would hear you, or that no one would care about what you had to say anyway, and so you remained silent. But beautiful being, you've opened your mouth and said exactly what was on your heart to say. And that is an important act of self-love. You are like a living lesson for someone right now. They realize that they fumbled you, and that is disappointment that they must now live with. They have yet another chance to transmute something, to empower themselves with healing and growth. There is a sense of denial here that is impeding this person from ever progressing beyond having a pity party and actually doing some meaningful work on themselves to forgive themselves so that they can be kind to other people and not try to punish a being based on how much they feel accepted or loved or liked. They never had a right to try to harm you in the way that they did. They never had a right to try to impede your progress. They never had a right to put their hands on you. They never had a right to try to take you away from what is truly meant for you and to siphon your energy. But the strength that you have realized is within you, as you have journeyed through each and every one of those attacks, that can't be bought. That is a priceless experience that you took advantage of every single time and allowed it to help you grow, to help you evolve and transform into the beautiful being that you are now. And everyone who attacked you is now sitting back, feeling foolish, putting their hand on their forehead like, what have I done? Because they know that they crossed the line. They know that they went too far. They know that in the moment they thought that they were doing the right thing, which for them meant the right thing for their ego, the right thing for their sense of comfort. But now they realize that everyone sees that they acted selfishly, out of anger, out of insecurity, out of fear. And you chose to rise above those frequencies. You acknowledged that they were there, but you chose to take a different path that was not governed by fear. And so they will continue to regret what they did, whether it's because of their ego and knowing that they look like a fool right now, or whether it's because in some way they truly wish that they had done better by you. But either way, they know that they've messed up. Let them sit with that. Be at peace with your peace, and be at peace with the fact that they did not choose peace. They chose what they chose, and it is divinely aligned that you are living your best life, and they have an opportunity to learn from the misery that they have created for themselves. It is what it is. I love you. I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.